Hi and welcome to the Simple Logistics channel. So it's been a while since I don't produce new videos, so I thought it was time to go back and to make a new video for you guys. Today we are going to talk about the ramping up of production of electric vehicles, especially in Europe. Um, this was caused by some news that I saw about um, the end of the production of the Ford Fiesta in Europe. So this car has been manufactured in Europe for 46 years. Um, it's a pretty common sight in any European city, and it is a car which is designed for that specific market. It has been a sales success over the years, and Ford is discontinuing the model and shutting down the plant to refurbish the plant in Germany to produce new electric vehicles. So let's see how things are shaping up for electric vehicles in Europe in general. So uh, the cost of batteries has been declining over the years. Uh, has been a steady decline in the cost of the battery packs over the years. So here you can see the cost in dollars per kilowatt hour of usable energy from 2008 to 2021, and you can see that the reduction was simply, you know, gigantic. Some news outlets say 80, 87%, 88% reduction in the last 10 years alone. So uh, it's a huge reduction in cost for these batteries, especially if you account for inflation. So batteries in 2008, in today's dollars, they would cost more than $1,200 per kilowatt hour of usable energy, and now it's under $200. The last figure I saw was like 137 dollar per kilowatt hour for the latest generation of batteries. And as the battery cost has been decreasing, the sales of battery electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid vehicles has been growing and growing every year, regardless of anything or COVID or anything else. Um, as share of sales and as absolute numbers of vehicle produced. Of course, Tesla has been at the forefront of these volumes, but Chinese automakers and European automakers have been steadily pumping out more and more electric vehicles now. So here are the news about the end of production of the Ford Fiesta, the internal combustion engine vehicle uh, that Ford used to sell in Europe for the last 46 years, and they are now transforming their production line, their plant in Cologne, Germany, to begin producing electric vehicles there. And they started this shutdown for the overhaul 1 year before the previous schedule. So they are accelerating their plans for transitioning from internal combustion engines to EVs. And what were the obstacles for the big hurdles for the EV adoption. The biggest hurdle was the cost of the batteries because it requires some special chemistry, some elements which are not very common, like lithium and cobalt. Um, but now we have a very good reverse logistics for those batteries, um, as well as we had for the lead acid batteries. Now we already have established very good reverse logistics for the lithium ion batteries. And we can create a circular economy for these batteries. So every old battery will go back to its original manufacturer and it will be recycled, completely recycled, and all the lithium, all the cobalt, all the steel, all these noble materials inside, they will be used to make new batteries with increased efficiency because these batteries are evolving faster and faster. And we have some alternative chemical compositions for new types or new generations of automotive batteries. So there is the NMC, nickel, manganese, cobalt uh, chemistry for making new batteries. The LFP, which is iron and phosphorus battery, uh, they use significantly less amounts of lithium and cobalt than previous chemistries. And there is also the possibility of using aluminum air batteries, which have, as far as I know, they contain no lithium at all. So um, these new chemistries can uh, give us great energy efficiency with low costs and with low supply chain problems because the lithium and cobalt supply chains are really complicated. So that's why we are trying to use as little as possible of those elements. But at least at the beginning of the introduction of battery electric vehicles, we are going to require much more new batteries um, uh, compared to the amount of batteries that are going back through the reverse logistics channel to be recycled. So we are going to have a gap in the amount of inbound materials, um, inbound raw material to make new batteries. That's why new types of battery chemistry with less complicated materials or materials that the supply chain is much more reliable uh, are being pursued by every major automaker out there. And as far as energy to recharge all these electric vehicles, um, we have good news in Europe. Among all the bad news, we had good news because there is a record of production of wind and solar energy in Europe right now. It's probably what is maintaining Europe with all the lack of Russian gas and everything. So Europeans now are seeing that they have to rely in their own sources of energy. So it's bad to rely on fossil fuels, which are produced abroad in countries that don't have the same standards, for example, for human rights. So uh, I think increasingly countries in Europe, Here in South America, we are seeing these. In Brazil, there is a record of solar panels installations the last year, and this year we are probably going to have even more solar panels installed. So our renewable capacity is growing faster than any other source of energy. Uh, I think increasingly we are going to see that in Europe, in South America, in North America, in Japan, we are going to be seeing more and more production of renewable energy with um, better, more efficient, um, uh, wind generators, better, more efficient solar panels, um, battery packs, uh, either mechanical or hydraulic or lithium batteries to increase the reliability of the renewable source of energy. And we are going to move away, you know, every time faster from fossil fuels. So fossil fuels will die not because we are going to run out of oil or gas, but as somebody said, the Stone Age didn't end because of lack of stones. The oil age is not going to end because of a lack of oil. We are going to move away from those fossil fuels, and we are going to see more and more use of renewables um, for climate reasons and for geostrategy reasons, because it's much easier, much more reliable to produce solar power or wind power in your own country rather than importing fossil fuels from abroad. Okay, so this is my take about the introduction or the ramping up of production of electric vehicles, especially in the European market. But increasingly we are seeing that globally, and uh, these speeding up of the introduction of electric vehicles, the growth of the market share for electric vehicles is going to ramp up, to speed up even further in the next months, in the next years. That's my strong opinion about these changes. They are irreversible towards electrification. I would prefer, electrification using, uh, for example, trains for passengers and cargo. Uh, it's much more efficient. But at least for now, we are going to see a lot of individual car ownership, and a lot of individual passenger cars being sold, which are going to be either battery electric or plug-in hybrids on the road for the next few years. Okay, thank you guys. See you next time. Bye.